Hey guys, it's Kay, and today we're going to be talking about William Devin Howell, one of the most prolific serial killers in Connecticut history. So I couldn't find the most information on this one, but I did what I could. This is one that I actually scripted out when I had done the first video to the series, the most prolific serial killer in the US. So today we are talking about Connecticut history. So William Devin Howell was born February 11th, 1970 in Hampton, Virginia. He admits to being raised by a good family, in a good home, never abused or molested, didn't kill animals as a kid. He even states he had no idea why he grew up to commit the crimes other than his own selfish reasons. He served half of the 90s in jail or prison in Virginia for drinking, which was enough time for anger to build and sick thoughts to start creeping in of raping women. He admitted he only killed them to cover up his crime, which honestly is just sick, in my opinion. Whether you're going to murder them or not, raping someone is absolutely sick. He said one night while drinking and fighting with his girlfriend, he decided to just act on his impulses, and then it became a horrible habit. He ran a lawn cutting business out of his van. He had a total of 7 victims in 6 months. Late summer 2007, a hunter was looking for a place to hunt in the central Connecticut woods and found the first skull. When New Britain police arrived on the scene, they discovered a mass grave with the remains of 3 women, who were 23-year-old Joyvelyn Martinez, 53-year-old Diane Cusack, and 40-year-old mother Mary Jane Menard. Witnesses say Mary Jane Menard was last seen getting into a black or blue van being driven by a man named Bill. However, that's as far as the investigation got, which is also partially why I don't have near as much information on this case as the last few. So local attorney turned true crime writer, while doing some research, stumbled across an article about bodies being found behind a strip mall in New Britain, Connecticut. While looking into it, she finds the disappearance of 33-year-old Nilsa Arizmendi happened around the same time period as the other 3 women disappeared. Her boyfriend as well stated that he had last seen her getting into a dark blue van, which in my opinion just begs the question, why didn't he stop her? Or, you know, maybe he was on the other side of the street or just happened to be walking or driving by and had seen it happen. But if you know that your girlfriend is getting into a dark van that you don't recognize, would you do something about it? Leave that down in the comments below because I'm kind of curious. Would you try to stop it if you thought it was suspicious, or would you kind of just trust that she knows what she's doing and knows the person? Though I guess we really don't know. She could have had a brother or a friend with a dark van that he kind of just assumed was what she was getting into. However, unlike the others, her case was solved. The van described by Nilsa's boyfriend was registered to Dorothy Holcomb, William Devin Howell's girlfriend, who he had bought the van from. While investigating the van, police found a bloodstain on the vertical back cushion and DNA matching Arizmendi in the van. Howell is arrested even though investigations have not located a body yet. He pled guilty and was sentenced to 15 years in prison for that crime. Police then started to discover one skull after another behind a Connecticut strip mall in August 2007 while Howell is serving his 15-year sentence for the murder of Nilsa Arizmendi and was named a suspect in the other murders. While in prison, Howell confessed to his cellmate, Jonathan Mills, telling him a terrifying tale about his alter ego, the Sick Ripper, who picked women up in his murder-mobile and buried them in the woods behind the mall. After his confession, police located 4 more bodies: 29-year-old Melanie Ruth Camellini, 44-year-old Danny Lee Witsnant, 26-year-old Marilyn Mendez Gonzalez and 33-year-old Nilsa Arizmendi, bringing the total victims to 7, 6 women and 1 man. Prosecutors found 6 out of 7 DNA samples of the victims in his van, so he really did not do a good job at cleaning up his crime. It's kind of, like, in my opinion, kind of seems more like he wanted to get caught because he didn't clean up very well. William Devin Howell was charged with multiple capital felony murders. Defense attorney William Paetzold called him the most notorious serial killer in the state of Connecticut's history. He didn't want a trial and was prepared to plead guilty. He admitted to the murders in the back of his murder-mobile. Ann K. Howard, who had been blogging about the murders, reached out and received numerous letters for her to write a book from. The content of these letters may be rather disturbing to some viewers, as he describes his crimes, so I'll give those who want to click away a minute. Alright, so in the letters, Howell stated that he took 3 of his victims to the corner of a McDonald's parking lot in New Britain to rape and strangle them. He stated he would duct tape their mouths so no one would hear them make any noises, and was careful to park in remote locations in the parking lot, at least 50 feet away from any other vehicle. When the victim was dead, he would wrap their bodies in plastic trash bags, open his side door, and very quickly throw the bodies into a ravine below the hill. Discussing his first victim, Melanie Camellini, he wrote that he grabbed her by the throat, raised a hammer, and told her that all he wants is sex, and if she didn't give him any trouble, she wouldn't get her. However, this wasn't true. He hit her with the hammer and strangled her to death. However, at the time he was living in his van, so he slept next to her body for 2 weeks, nicknaming the corpse Baby. Which, again, is just sick. The whole case, honestly, to me, is just disgusting. I don't understand how a human being can be so okay with committing these acts against other human beings. You know what I mean? Maybe that's just me having a heart, though. In the letters, he also admits to taking each victim through the McDonald's drive-thru with them half naked and tied up in the back of the van, and told them that if they made a sound, it would be their last. None of them made a sound. He's serving 15 years for manslaughter and has 6 consecutive life sentences for murder. Honestly, though, I don't understand how he wasn't caught a lot earlier than he was, before he committed 7 murders. He committed his crimes in a McDonald's parking lot where cars come and go out of all day, and mutilated his victims' bodies behind a busy strip mall. He even took them through the drive-thru for a last meal, and nobody ever thought it was weird that he was always there, or thought to look into the back of the van, if it was one you could see into. I feel like a lot of these actions would be visible from the outside of the van, though, whether it be the van shaking back and forth, or seeing through the windows. But nobody thought that it was odd, you know what I mean? He says today that he does feel remorse for his crimes and the pain he brought to the victims' loved ones, even saying hearing them sobbing in court tore him apart, but also admits that if he had not been caught, the killing spree would have likely continued. However, police have stated they found several video lapses in the back of Howell's murder-mobile that show other unidentified women, and are currently asking for help putting names to faces and identifying whether they were victims of Howell's. So you can contact the New Britain Police Department at 860-826-3000 if you or someone you know has any information about this case or any of the victims. As always, thank you guys for watching, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below so that you don't miss future content. Otherwise, feel free to like, subscribe down below, and leave a comment down below if you guys have any cases or serial killers that you would like talked about, and I will try to get around to them. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.